You just kind of do both parts. One, you almost block the field goal there early, and then the missed extra points. So if you kind of go the
Dorrance blocked. We got him through the C gap, and he blocked it, and then it went in, so it doesn't count as a block. We were trying to penetrate right there, and we got it, and we just didn't get enough of it, I guess. And then later in the game, they got through the A gap. They basically kind of trailed somebody in and pushed 90 and kind of just split our snapper and Connor, and just a big man got a hand up in the perfect spot. So it wasn't a big leak. It was just enough for a big man just got a couple yards of penetration and got a hand up there. So good timing by him, because it's all about timing and finding your hand in the right spot. So just a couple things for us to tighten up for sure in protection.
With Michael Galpin, Dallas Morning News, with Kelvin now set to see an increased role defense, what do you lose in terms of Kelvin in the special teams game?
Yep.
And also, is this a chance to show off that your guys' depth that you have on special teams?
Yeah. It's we lose Kelvin now because the starting corner. He's been a critical, you could argue, top 3 or 5 guy for us. So we're losing a huge core 4, player. But I feel like we have some depth that's being tested. Losing Anthony Brown, we lost Deron Bland, and now losing AB. We're going to be losing Kelvin Joseph, but Nashawn Wright will be ready to step in, and I have total confidence in Shawnee. And when he's played, he's performed, and that'll just be a 1-for-1. So he'll play the positions that Kelvin's been playing. But we're getting close to the point where we can't lose many more bodies because we got great depth, we really do. But you just don't want to lose any more. So I'm excited for Nashawn. I'm excited for Kelvin, because that's what I've always said is, when those special teams guys get opportunities to go start on O&D, I'm their biggest cheerleader, man.
Calvin Watkins, Dallas Morning like Turpin had a lot more attempts than he's had in a couple of weeks. How do you think he handled everything last night?
On the kickoff return, the first one we messed up. And that was on me. And then the second one was a good little return. And then the third one, he got a little bit caught in between. Should I go? Should I stay? Should I go? Should I stay? The arms went out, which is a signal to stay. Then he kind of lost track where he was, and he brought it out. So that was just a decision-making error by him, and he knew it right when it happened. You can't put your arms down and bring the ball out, because for a lot of different reasons. And then on the punt return side, I thought he caught the ball great. I don't feel like their punter hit very good balls yesterday, so he had to run up on some short balls with traffic in his face, and arguably he maybe could have returned one, but I never want to tell him, you should have done this, you should have done that, because then the next time he does it, when it's a totally different look. So I'm proud of his ball handling and ball skills. I think that one kickoff return I wish we could have back on the decision making, which was the last one he brought out.
He indicated he wanted to talk to you about being a little more aggressive on kick returns. Did you guys have that conversation?
Yeah.
Are you open to that?
Absolutely. Oh, I'm open to it. Coach McCarthy's open to it. I know Terp wants to do it. It's just matching the kick with the call. We don't want to bring a ball out from 6 deep when the return's supposed to go here, but the kick's over here. So there's a lot of pieces that kind of have to fit. But I think we've always been of the aggressive mindset, bringing them out. We brought 3 out this past game, but I think in any game we would have brought those out because they were goal line 1, 2, 3 deep. So that's always in our range for sure. I'm just looking forward for Turpin to get a chance to get some punts return in, because we've been missing that for a couple of weeks just because we haven't had realistic chances.
John Todd Archer with ESPN. I think in the first 11 games you guys had to cover 9 kickoffs, and then yesterday you had to cover 8.
Yeah.
What's the challenge of that, and is that a good thing when you have some maybe potentially cold weather games that you might not be able to just blast it?
Yeah, no, it's a great call, Todd. Any time, I hate to use the term practice in a real game, but that's just what it is, because you don't get that in practice. So anytime we get a chance to cover live kickoffs in games, I really feel that's going to help us moving forward. And we knew Indy was going to bring him out from wherever because they did it against Pittsburgh. So it was a great opportunity for us just to go ahead and kick it like we normally do. And a couple of them came up short with Brett. He's trying to swing at it big, and he kind of towed quite a few of the kickoffs, which gave him some sweet spot returns. But I was proud of our guys. It was wild, wild west kickoff versus kickoff return football out there. It was basically 10 one-on-ones every time. So there was great just hand combat, shoulder combat. What it looked like is all those kickoff returns. That was our 3, their 8. That's 11 live ball kickoff returns. It didn't look on tape that there was one injury. So for the NFL perspective, I think that's a really good thing that there was high speed, high combat, a lot of good clashing going on, and everybody got off the ground and went to the sideline every time without head or leg injuries, which is good. I don't want to discount the fact like that. So it was fun, but we were gassed. I mean, I think we covered 5 or 6 kickoffs in the fourth quarter, and it was like, hey, everybody's kind of like, Coach, I need one. Sammy Williams after the touchdown. I'm like, it's not a preseason game, guys. There's nobody else, so come on. So it's good conditioning for us too.
You have Malik Davis as your personal protector, or you used the undrafted rookie running back in the spot there before?
Yeah, we've used him a couple of times in the past couple of games, and he really is buddy systeming with Noah Brown. So Noah's getting a lot of work on offense, and if he sees that Noah's been in for a couple of plays, maybe runs a go route on third down, and we got to go punt it. He takes the spot, and Noah took the first rep, and then I have total confidence in all our rookies. It's fantastic and kind of fascinating too. I go back to it again: Malik Davis and Jalen Tolbert and Sam Williams and Ferguson and Hendershot and Deron Bland. Damone Clark, we've gone with Devin Harper. Am I missing anybody in the rookie world? It seems like we're just packed full of them, and I'm a huge fan of getting rookies into the game on special teams because it's what they should do, and it's a great way to learn to play football. So there's definitely a learning curve, and a lot of things that maybe you can't see to the fan or the naked eye that we look at the film and say, hey, guys, this has got to tighten up, and we address it, and we work on it, and it's been a really fun season for me to have such a high amount of rookies play special teams that I feel like I've had to be on it, and teaching these guys kind of the right way to study, watch film, practice, prepare for games, compete in games. So it's cool.
Babe Loffner, Cowboys Radio. So John, not too long ago, you got an extra point block, play was over, everybody go to the bench. Now obviously it's live. I'm assuming you don't practice tackling with your kickers, but just the play that Brian made and the awareness of getting over there.
Yeah, it was a great play. And somebody, I think it might have been Donovan Wilson or somebody on the sideline said, Banger, you almost got that football out. Like you went over and tackled him and the ball almost got loose. And Brian was like, yeah, I wasn't even thinking about the ball. I was thinking about just making a tackle. So, you hate to even be in that position. But Brett did it against the Rams on that errant snap. And then there was the other one against Washington on the block that those guys are very aware, and they're pro football players, and they go run it down, and they know it's live. So I hate to even talk about it, but we don't practice tackling with our specialists. It's just instincts and, okay, go get them down however you can and save 2 points going the other way.
I saw J-Ron run down to kick, just one last night, but that was something that we've really seen. It's been a while since he's done that. I was just curious, is that a buddy system type of thing where giving someone else a breather, or what?
J-Ron Curse on the kickoff? Yeah, we buddy system J-Ron Curse, Malik Hooker, and Donovan Wilson, those 3 at one spot as our safety on kickoff. So we used everybody on kickoff. I mean, we used everybody, every tight end, every linebacker, DB. We used all of them. We needed them all. So those guys buddy system at one spot, and they were gassed too. I mean, again, 5 touchdowns in the fourth quarter, or whatever, 4 touchdowns. Everybody was gassed. It was great to have to cover kickoffs for that reason, but I mean, it was come on, guys. Oxygen and hamstrings were on full alert there.
Much better covering kickoffs and a bunch of kickoff returns, right?
Oh yeah. We're not complaining about covering kickoffs for sure. I mean, but that's a lot of. I don't know what the GPS numbers were, but they're going to be high. Yeah.
Is with Anger's touchbacks, is some of it just a bad luck in some cases?
In my opinion, absolutely. I mean, the one that was a touchback yesterday, it was a fantastic ball. I mean, it was a great punt, and it depends on if, I think it turned over just enough where the nose hit it and it just catapulted forward. You see a ton of punts in the NFL where it might kick back or it might kick sideways, but there's been a lot of them this year where we've been not beneficiary, but there's been a lot of balls bouncing into the end zone off of really good punts, and it's kind of, I guess, the luck of the bounce in that case. If you hit a worse ball, there's probably a better chance that it does kick back because the nose stays up. But when he turns that ball over, it's usually kicking forward. So we're not going to ask for lucky bounces. I'd rather have a good punt and a bad bounce than a bad punt and a lucky bounce. We'll just live in that world.
Ryder Dixon with the AP. You've talked a lot about this in the past, guys making that transition from mostly special teams to mostly whether it's offense or defense. It looks like Kelvin is sort of next up on that list. What are the challenges for a guy when you go from mostly special teams to mostly one side of the ball or other?
Yeah, I think, gosh, that's a great question. I think special teams, you know, you can look at the card I hold up and say, this is my position, okay, I got it. And now I just got to go run and hit and finish and be relentless. Where I think, you know, defensively or offensively, let's face it, there's probably a little bit more strategy and details on exactly certain type of things. Where I'm not discounting that on the special teams world, because there's techniques and there's discipline that's required. But special teams a little bit more wide open. Let's go run, let's go bang, you know. Don't know exactly where the ball is going to go. And offense and defensively, there just might be a little bit more, you know, tighten up the screws on your coverage responsibilities or your leverage and things like that. So it's a totally different game, you know, special teams to offense or defense with the strategies of it, the techniques of it. Because we play a technique on our punt return outside that you would never want to play on defense, just because of how we would block a gunner is not at all how you would defend a wide receiver. So there's certain things like that. If you watch the tape, you can see, you know, how we block a gunner versus how you defend a receiver. So there will be a learning curve to maybe break some special teams habits like that for Kelvin that he can't do on defense that he can get away with on special teams. So it's a great question, and it is a fascinating difference between some special teams and some defensive play.
How well equipped do you think he is for that transition?
Very well equipped. I mean, his physical tools with his change of direction, his strength, his contact balance, the ability to snap his head, you know, stop, start. Not a defensive backs coach, but as far as the movement skills, he's got it. And we'll just keep encouraging Kelvin to just, you know, stay alive and alert in meetings. Not that he isn't, just that'll be the next step on continuing to become a pro, is all the littlest details on your assignment, your matchup, you know, all that stuff. You just got to continue to hone in. And if he can match his great physical skills with his growing, you know, mental skills, then I think you're going to see a really good defensive back. And I'm going to be on the sideline being his number one. Come on, Fat.
Revisiting Malik Davis, what has stood out about his development from where he started to where he is now?
Yeah, that's a good one, because you get some of these undrafted rookies in the spring and training camp, and you're like, gosh, this is a long way to go. And then you can see like Peyton Hendershot, you know, it's kind of the same thing. But going back to Malik, I think his confidence has grown just being a part of the 53. And then being at practice and watching Noah Brown at practice, you know, or watching Luke Gifford practice, they learn some of the skills in the game within a game, and then they utilize it, and then their confidence grows when they get some play. So I think where Malik's grown is his ability to be physical, be well-rooted in punt protection, be a good blocker on the run. So his game has really grown. It's cool to see him on offense, too. You know, that's another one. We're cheering on the sideline like crazy on offense when he scored the touchdown. But then it's like, hey, Malik, we got to go cover kickoff now. Don't be celebrating too long, because there ain't nobody that can go and take your spot. But it's really cool to see these rookies grow throughout the season. And we can really see it on tape and in practice. And I'm sure everybody else can kind of see it too, but they come a long way. And the biggest jump really is next year. You'll see Malik and Peyton and all those guys just leaps and bounds, kind of just picking up where they left off starting next year. So I don't want to get ahead of themselves, but they've come a long way. We've got a good little young class.
All right.
All right. Thanks, you guys.